Alright, so something I didn't do the last time before it loaded the project was to save it, so you might remember to do that. If you didn't save it, like I did, and you end up kind of having two light fixtures in your scene, you might, it's easy to get rid of. You just go into your project browser and scroll down to families and then to light fixtures, and you probably would see just a generic family here. I've already deleted mine, so that's where you'd go to delete it. Alright, so now that we have it in Revit, let's take a look at what it looks like in Inkscape. Okay, so not bad, not great. Everything seems to be working. There's light source, there's the model, but obviously we haven't given it any materiality, so that's where we're kind of struggling at the moment. Alright, so what I've found, and I'm hoping you guys don't, but I'm assuming you will, if you're bringing imported geometry into Revit, Inkscape is having a hard time updating that. Most everything that you will see typically just takes a brief second. Once you change in Revit, Inkscape updates automatically and everything's good to go. Well, that's not the case that I found, at least for this. So get ready. We're going to be doing a lot of turning Inkscape off, turning it back on, off. Okay, so how do you change materials? I mean, normally we would set them up within the family and make sure that they're available here. So if I'd hit edit type, there'd be a list of materials if I'd set it up. But that's not how imported geometry works, at least not yet. Hopefully they're working on that. So what you need to do is hit your visibility graphics and type in VB, or you can do VG, and then go to object styles and imported objects. And what you should see is a list of the materials. So this is why we wanted to set up all the Rhino geometry given layers. So now we have those layers, and over here on the right column we can see that we can now control those layers. So probably the easiest ones to get right off the bat would be glass. So let's just find some clear glass. That we can use. Use that. And we'll go ahead and the bulb, not going to keep the bulb, something else. Okay, so that's good. Now the fixture itself. None of this is going to be kind of earth-shattering. Choose whatever materiality that you wanted. I'm going to. I don't know what I'm looking for, honestly. I'm just going to look for something. Brass. Brass. There we go. I'll try a brass. Material. Sure. Okay. So that's the fixture itself. Now the mesh and the lid for now will be the same, even though I know that the mesh is going to be a different material. Well, actually, for your mesh, we'll just go with that for the beginning. Let's just rename this one mesh. We'll give it metallic. I don't know if we need it to be glossy. maybe. Lighter gray. I want it to be a little reflective. There you go. A little reflective. Not so glossy. There we go. Okay, so here, just in generic, it has kind of everything that you need to set something up. So generic's a really good place to start. You might need to use referencing, like looking at a metal to figure out what kind of reflectivity you might want. But this is all looking pretty good. Now the thing that I need to add is a cutout. And the cutout's going to be, how we're going to get that perforation. I've already set one up, so I have this perforation too, which I'll show you. In Photoshop, I've got this thing set up. Now I'll tell you kind of some of the cheat codes. I mean, I just basically looked up perforations and I found a pattern that looked like it would be close to this. Essentially, this looks like the whole pattern and the space in between looks about equal. So that's kind of what I've set up, and it's obviously in a kind of checkerboard fashion. So it's offset like this. The tricky part with this is you have to get it cropped down so that as this repeats, it all still flows well, so that this fits with that, this side fits with that side, and it looks like a circular pattern. So that's what I've got going on. We'll go into how to create some custom perforated patterns here a little bit later. So don't fret if you can't get this thing to work. So the other thing that we need to work on is how big this pattern is. Let's go ahead and leave this as it is and see if it's working, and then we can go in and we can tweak that. So I've done everything, I think, except for that lid and the bulb. That's good. That's all right. So we'll start up Inkscape and get things rolling. So again, every time that you make a material change, you're going to have to restart Inkscape. There are a few things that it will connect on, but not, or refresh, but materials isn't one of them. So you can see that our perforated pattern is pretty strong. But that, who knows, if you had a metal cutout that was supposed to look like that, then you've scored. That is not what we're looking for. So I'm going to shut that down and go back into managing materials. I think I called that mesh, so it should be good. I'm going to click on it so I can change this pattern. So that is not even close. You're going to look at, let's say, a 1/2 inch. So you're really looking at this distance. How many holes might show up in a 1/2 inch? So if I look at this, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5. Right now I have half, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4. Okay, so that may be it. So we'll apply that and restart Inkscape. Alright, so you can see that this is getting a ton better. We get closer to the object. Yeah, it looks a little large, the perforated pattern, but wow, we have the brass, we have the glass encasing, and start to see a little bit of the light source. It may be time for me to not only change the pattern, but go for that bulb. So let's do that. I'll go ahead and I'm going to go into visibility graphics so I can select that layer. Let's go ahead and change this to a light source. If you don't have one set up, you can set it up to a generic appearance, and what you're looking for really is actually not really transparency. Maybe that's okay to be transparent, but the self-illumination. And you'll have to play with the different, I'm going incandescent. I want it to kind of have a little bit of a yellow glow, so that's the temperature I'm looking for. I'm not sure. I'm just going to go with frosted bulb for now. I don't know. I don't like how low that luminance got when I check others. So this is like, seems off the charts, but I want to see what that looks like. So this is what I'm going to use as my light source. So I can use this for every any other fixture I make that I want to have that light source. So again, this is where it looks like that's where the light's coming from, even though we know the light source is actually this other thing in Revit. Okay, wait, I wanted to check one more thing. I want to do the mesh. So it's always good to make sure that you call out your materials correctly so you can just pull them up like that. Right, so this I think was about half again as large as I needed it. So I'm going to go 1/4 inch. And we should be done. Apply. Okay. Inkscape, and I think hopefully we'll be almost there. Okay, like it. This is pretty good. That mesh, I don't know, maybe a little tight. It's not too bad though. Looks pretty good. The bulb, I'm not sure I'm getting it, but it's not. It still looks good. It's and then the only thing I don't like is that there should be a lid right here. I'm getting a lot of light up above, so that might be the only thing I want to tweak. That one's a little tricky. I'm going to show you what I think will work, but I'm having a hard time trying to figure out. I think what happens is that if your light source is on a material, then it shoots past that material. I could be wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift this fixture just above and maybe bring that somewhere in here. And I'm hoping that now it starts to get blocked because it wasn't like right on a material. So for whatever reason, I think the physics, the way it works is that once it's through a material, it just kind of blasts right through it completely. But I could be wrong. It's just a guess. So I'm going to overwrite. And once again, we'll start Inkscape. Alright, so it looks like we hit it. We nailed it. It's now using that lid. Looks great. Perforation looks great. So there you go.